Welcome to Keep It 99. Please give a huge welcome to our host, Zelmae, performer Uniqo, and the judge, Monray.
Did that really just happen? Wild card weekend is official in the books, and the 2026 playoffs just got turned upside down. Let's get started. What's going on there, everyone? Welcome back to Keep It 99 Sports. I'm your host, Zelmae, and this is the legend himself. It's Monray, and today we are reacting to the chaotic slate of wildcard games. We had heartbreakers, we had blowouts, we had Eagles, Bears, Cowboys. Not even Cowboys. I don't know why I said Cowboys. Cowboys famous.
Your boys.
Sending a massive message to the rest of the league. Who survived? Who choked? Who looked like a real Super Bowl contender? Let's break it all down. Keeping it 99 as always. The closer you're going to get to 100, let's get into it. First off, Monray. You know the first game is. All right, we got to get started here. We can't dance around it. Saturday wasn't just a loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It looked like an end of an era. It wasn't in the very matter of fact. CJ Stroud in Texas didn't just beat them. They exposed them. And now for the first time in a long time, the noise is deafening. Mike Tomlin, who hasn't had a losing season ever, is now not the coach and not a threat anymore. We got to keep it on that. Is it time for Pittsburgh to move on from this thing they've been doing where they just pick a coach that was on their team, a young defensive coach, and get an offensive coach? Or do they just keep doing the same thing? And where does Mike Tomlin go?
Look, they already know it was time. I'm gonna assume mutually parted ways because it does not say Tomlin got fired or nothing.
By the way, he's a team. If they sign him, they would have to pay the Steelers.
Yes, because the Steelers did have the rights to him for, I want to say 2 years, but I know it's 1. So he would have to sit out a year to just be a free agent. Otherwise, somebody's going to trade for him. Look, talking about the Steelers. Yeah, it was time. They been hit this same ceiling for a few years now where, Tomlin gets them to about 9 wins. This time was 10 wins. They make it to the playoffs some years and they lose. It's the same ceiling they had been hitting. And like I and a whole bunch of other people, analysts and everybody's been saying, hitting that same snooze button on your reset, because they've been constantly hitting the snooze button. The alarms have been going off. It's probably time to go ahead and stack a year, try to get a real quarterback, some of that nature, get a young prospect. They tried with Kenny Pickett one time, didn't go well. The time with Big Ben hurt his elbow. Shout out to First Things First, of course. Time that Big Ben, hurt his elbow, and they tried to, instead of, just sort of sacking that year away, draft another quarterback in the air, they traded for Minka Fitzpatrick and, did some more stuff. So they've been hitting the snooze button on this for the longest. Finally, they're like, okay, we can't really do nothing else past this. Now they're in a bad situation because they don't really have a quarterback plan going forward. But yes, it is time. And as far as where Mike Tomlin will go, look, if I was a Las Vegas Raider, I would call up the Steelers and be like, what would it take for me to get Mike Tomlin over here? I think we had said like Harbaugh and a couple other coaches over there. Tomlin to the Las Vegas Raiders, I think fits perfectly. I really do. They had a horrendous defense last year. They had horrendous offensive line play, horrendous quarterback play, all of that. And right now, the main thing that the Raiders want is really just some kind of culture, some kind of winning culture. They want it. If they can get to 500, bro, they will be happy. And that's what they're hoping to get with Pete Carroll. It didn't go well. I think with the promise of a number 1 draft pick, and Fernando Mendoza, and a good head coach culture that knows about defense and knows about making a quarterback competent. Because look, you can look through the list. Kenny Pickett, the end of Big Ben years, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. All these quarterbacks were not the best, but he was able to get them to be able to win some games. So if you just want somebody to come over there, build some kind of culture that'll help you become decently relevant, get your defense on point, and you could put a good offensive coordinator in there, I think you go with. I would call up and be like, hey, what would it take to get Tomlin over it? Because we're already seeing that John Harbaugh's requirements, if that's to be believed, there's a rumor, but if that's to be believed, his requirements are already a bit crazy. So, if Tomlin's on the board, hey, see what you can get for him. Like I said, Stefanski, maybe somebody else like that too, but Tomlin, I think, is probably the best head coaching candidate you can ask for right now. I would see what it take to get him over there. But as far as the Steelers, look, Steelers just hire a coach, pick some random person out the draft. If you suck, whatever, get a higher draft pick in 2028, whatever. But, that's what I think. Or a higher draft pick for 2027. But just, yeah, it was time.
I feel it. By the way, I want people to say, I know I said they got blown out, blah, blah, blah. They didn't really get blown out. Listen, the score was 10-6 at 11 minutes left, and the Steelers had the ball. Aaron Rodgers fumbled, and it led to a touchdown, and then a pick six, and it got out of control at that point. But to be fair, they was in the game with 11 minutes in the fourth quarter, so it wasn't really a blowout. It was time. Mike Tomlin is too good of a coach to ever just lose. So I do want to say that. So they was never gonna get worse to get better. You was always gonna pick in the 20s. You were never gonna get past the 20s, so you're gonna always draft later. They already struggle to draft offensive players when they get that late. I think the only one remember that's been good lately is George Pickens. Other than that, they haven't had really many super offensive draft picks. But they hit on defense. Mike Tomlin hit on defense, but offense they seem to struggle. The place I probably want them to go, and be honest with you, probably Atlanta. Because I think they have two quarterbacks that he could deal with. And then they in a weak division. And then the defense is going to be amazing. He got a young defense end that he always does well with. He always does well with young defense end. And he got a good offense with a bunch of weapons that he don't have to worry about if they do this or that. Good offensive line. Atlanta's ready-made. Hopefully he get Penix, even though he had 2 ACL tears. That's not a good thing. I like Atlanta. Somebody did pitch to me that if Harbaugh and Tomlin switch places, how interesting that'd be.
I did see that. I was like, that'd be crazy because supposedly Lamar does love Tomlin, but I think the Steelers they'll probably sell the franchise before they would really want to. I ain't gonna say before they would want to let Tomlin get traded to their direct division rival. It will be crazy. I just don't see that happening because I just don't see that they might not even pick up the Ravens' calls. They'll have to trade first round draft pick something to really get the Ravens' call. I don't even think they would want to do that. They
don't have a say in it. They would have to pay him for it.
Yeah, I just don't.
They'll just get paid for it, which would be interesting.
I don't think the Steelers. I just don't see the Steelers really. He would come back to haunt them, and they know he would. It's plus you're giving him a generational quarterback. No, I'm just not buying that one. I don't think they would want to do it. But my only drawback against Atlanta is that Tomlin would be going there to give them something that they don't need. Atlanta's problem wasn't defense. They had a good defense. I think,
but they give him something they need. He need a bunch of offensive weapons.
No, he need a quarterback. They don't have that. That's the problem. I'm sorry, I'm not sold.
Pittsburgh ain't never had a lot of weapons for their quarterback.
But that's the thing. We need him to have a quarterback. Pittsburgh ain't never had weapons. They had a quarterback either. They need a quarterback is what they need. And Atlanta does not have that definitively. Not saying that Michael Penix won't become nothing great, but Michael Penix, this is his first full year, really his second year in the league, first full year in the league. And he already has to come back from ACL. Huh?
Kirk Cousins will be better than most quarterbacks he didn't coach.
That's another version of Russell Wilson. That's just another maintain the status quo.
I think Kirk Cousins better than Russell Wilson.
No, not saying he's playing like him. That's just another stopgap. Cousins is not the answer. That's a stopgap quarterback at this point. And we know it. No, I do not want Tom to go somewhere and he has to deal with the same problem he got now. I got to either make these quarterbacks work that ain't no quarterback going forward, or I got to find one. I know that's defeating the purpose of him going to another team because it's the same thing. I don't know. If you're going to go somewhere that has a quarterback in place or a quarterback playing. One or the other. Atlanta don't have it.
But how hard is? But that's kind of hard to find at this point.
No, it's not. No, not at all. One, he could sit out a year or two. That's one. Two, there are places with head coaching vacancies that have quarterbacks. We talked about the Ravens, even though I think that's unrealistic. The Raiders is right there. They are right there. And it's not like Tomlin's going to run.
I'm sorry, that division hell.
No, but see, that's the problem. Tomlin has been in arguably the top, I'm going to say top four, because there's 8 divisions. The top 4 most competitive division in the entirety of the NFL. Like the AFC North is one of the most competitive divisions, and they've been that way. There's never really been a point where they haven't been relevant. And then combined,
has he ever coached in a division with 3 other Hall of Fame coaches?
No, I don't believe so.
It will be 3 Hall of Fame coaches.
The other problem that comes with it, one, Andy Reid. I don't know how many more years Andy Reid got to coach. I don't expect it to be that doggone long. That's one. Two. That's one. Two. Sean Payton. Shout out to him. He gonna be good. And 3. Jim Harbaugh. Look, right now, the division looks powerful on paper, but if you look at the fine tuning parts of it, you're not that afraid. Like I said, Tomlin is the same person that's had to deal with not a division, but an AFC that had a combination of Phillip Rivers, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning throughout his entire pedigree. Tomlin is one of the few coaches that can go anywhere and be like, I'm not really worried about the competition here because I've had to deal with Hall of Fame, not even Hall of Fame, GOAT quarterbacks. And I've had to fight through them to get my Super Bowl ring. I promise you, the people is not the problem.
My thing is, okay, I'm going for Mendoza, but I can have a ready-made team here. Versus
if he could go to the Ravens, cool. Yeah, if he can go to the Ravens, cool. I would love to go to the Ravens. I doubt he can do that, though. So I think if it's not the Ravens,
hey guys,
you need to go in and set up. If it's not the Ravens, the Giants would also be a really good idea because I think the Giants also have pretty much a ready-made team that's just young. Some of them come back from injury, sure, but and then the NFC East. Look, the way the NFC East is right now, you are not afraid of nobody in there. The Eagles are about to do some retooling. The Washington,
they're talking really bad about these people at this point in time. They're talking really bad about the Eagles.
I mean, the Eagles going to have to do retooling.
Shady McCoy doing his thing.
We don't talk about speakeasy. They weird over there.
Do we want to get on speakeasy right now because they're not really good?
I don't really care about them, but right now
we're gonna talk about it.
I'm gonna give it to Uniqo right now after my last point. Bringing up the Giants because I really forgot about them for a little bit. He will be that the Giants probably will be in the other equivalent pick because if you want to talk about coaches, the people you're afraid of, you're not afraid of the Cowboys coach, the Eagles. You dang sure not afraid of the Eagles coach, and Dan Quinn. You're not worried about either. So if there was any division, you like, okay, ready-made team, got a prospect, got a plan going forward. Giants right there. Right there.
I wouldn't get a spray. We'll talk about that.
But you need to go wings.
So
where Mike Tomlin go?
What are we doing right now?
We're discussing Mike Tomlin.
Where he goes. I say the Falcons. Monray saying Giants.
I don't like the Falcons because they don't have a quarterback at all right now. Same problem with the Steelers.
That offense is way more talented than the Steelers.
They don't have a quarterback.
They got one better.
They have Kirk Cousins, who's a stopgap right now. Who's that's what he is right now. He's a stopgap. He's about 37. And you have Michael Penix, who you don't know who he'll be, but he's coming off an ACL injury, and his first year wasn't, even with all the weapons, his first year really wasn't nothing to write home about. That's the best way to say that. Not to say it was bad. Nothing to write home about. So it's like you're in limbo in quarterback again. Even with the weapons, you're in limbo. You don't have a quarterback playing going forward.
So the South, NFC South. Are you saying there's nothing there at all?
No, I said I don't want him to go to a place that has the same problem as the team he just stepped down from.
That's what I'm asking you, bro. So what are we doing with the NFC South? Are you saying that they're nothing or what?
They're garbage.
That's because You're saying that they're garbage?
Go that garbage conference right now.
That's crazy, bro.
The conference was won with a team that was 8-9.
Yes, you can easily win that. But
Are you saying? So you're saying that the Buccaneers, they're bad, right? Is that what you're saying?
Right now, yeah. Right now, they bad.
The Panthers are bad, right?
Yep. Right now, yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you, man?
Did the Buccaneers and Panthers both finish at 8-9?
They're not bad teams, man. They can play.
Did they finish at 8-9?
Yes.
Okay, but because they beat up on each other.
No, they have.
They're not beating up on each other.
They have 11 other games. No. Yeah, 11 other games where you play other teams. 11 because they only play 6 games in your own conference. You play 6 games in your own conference. You have 11 games against other people. Out of those 11 games, they had a losing record.
Okay, but I'm saying you're trying to say that they're not good.
Right now, no. Right now, as of this, they're not good. As of right now, at the end of the season, no, they're not good.
Mike Tomlin should go to Atlanta. That's what I'm saying right now.
Yeah, I don't want them to go to Atlanta. Go to the Giants. Go to the Giants.
Because let's do this. So the Atlanta Falcons, they're bad.
Yep.
Okay.
Got a good team. It just
no. Hold on. Don't do this. Don't do this, Zelmae, because that's what you like to do. Don't do this. The Atlanta Falcons. So the Panthers are bad.
Yeah. We said.
Okay.
Uniqo.
Because I can agree. Because these niggas suck.
Where should Mike Tomlin go though? I'm saying
these niggas suck, man.
Respect to the Panthers though, because they did have a really good showing in the playoffs and they won their division. So respect to them, but no, that division is not good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are you like? They're not. The NFC South is not that bad.
The NFC South is the worst conference in the NFL right now.
Yes, and Mike Tomlin should go there and dominate.
No, Mike Tomlin should go to a team that has a future.
Don't do that. Don't
go to a team that has a future.
You got Bijan Robinson. You got Drake London.
They have no quarterback.
Who's good?
They have no quarterback.
You have a defense that's
all. They have no quarterback
in the NFC South.
Nobody. They have no quarterback. I'm talking about the Atlanta Falcons. They have no quarterback.
Dominate them.
Okay.
Dominate them. Go dominate that company.
Why? You gonna dominate them to get put out in the first round again? What's the point?
I don't think you get put out in the first round.
They're not that
you
bad,
don't have a quarterback and you make.
They're not that bad. I don't like you saying this because it's not true. The NFC South, they actually have some good teams down there.
I respect to their teams. All 3 of the teams made 8 and 9, and then the bottom team was 6 and 11.
Nigga.
No. The bottom team was 6 and 11. Like they are the worst conference. They're the worst conference right now. This second, I'm saying like the franchise. Right now,
moment, what are you saying?
Right now, at this moment, they're the worst conference.
Uniqo, where Mike Tomlin should go? What do you think?
Mike Tomlin?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that right now.
That's what we're talking about. That's the topic of the show. That's the title.
No, you're doing this. You want to do this.
That's literally the biggest news in sports right now. Literally the legendary Hall of Fame coach.
So where do you want Mike Tomlin to go?
I just said the Falcons.
Huh?
I already said the Giants.
Where do you want Mike Tomlin to go?
The Falcons.
Because you don't like him. So let's talk
Mike
about
Tomlin.
that.
What you mean?
Huh?
I love Mike Tomlin.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You are lying.
Where did this come from? Where does me not liking Mike Tomlin come from? This story.
You don't like Mike Tomlin.
I love Mike Tomlin.
You're lying.
I don't like Nick Sirianni.
You're lying.
Nick Sirianni. But I want him to go to Atlanta, dominate their division.
You want him to go to Atlanta?
Horrible idea.
You want him to go to Atlanta?
Yes.
Horrible idea.
That's crazy. You can't do that. Where do you want Mike Tomlin to go? Like on some real shit. Where do you want him to go?
I just said the Falcons.
That's what you do. That's what you do, man. You do this shit all the time. Where you want him to go?
Joe, I just said it, Joe. We about to move on. We about to go on.
I can move on. No problem.
Yes. We got to move on. Next up, we're about to shift gears. Immediately, what happened at Lambeau Field? This was supposed to be welcome to the playoff Ricky moment for Welcome Down Williams against the big bad cheesehead Green Bay Packers.
This is
Instead,
crazy.
the
No, I
Birds
don't like you
walk
doing
out
this.
with a W.
You're doing this on purpose.
But I'm looking at the timeline today, and I'm seeing two completely different movies being watched. Half the world is saying Caleb Williams has ice in his veins, and he's him, and the other half is screaming Green Bay choked that game away and handed it to Chicago. We need to sell this. That. Was that genuine Caleb Williams clutch gene, or was it all a facade because the Packers went to bed?
I'm pretty sure that Caleb Williams played a very good game.
Yes,
sir. He played a good game. So am I wrong? Or I want to hear it from you guys. He didn't play a bad game. Are you kidding me?
Who said he played bad? We said Packers
went to bed. So let's talk about it. He did not play a bad game. Caleb Williams played a good game.
Yeah, nobody said he didn't.
Are you saying that he played a bad game?
No one said that.
I'm asking you guys.
No.
Hello.
Nobody said that.
Hello, did he play a bad game? And I told you that he was not going to play a bad game. Point blank, period. Did he play a bad game?
No one, Joe. No, we repeatedly said no.
I'm asking you right now, nigga. Did he play a bad game?
No, he did not.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Monray, did he play a bad game?
No, he played all right.
All right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So what you want to do? Y'all gonna lie? Y'all gonna lie on Caleb? Are you going to lie on Caleb right now?
Ain't nobody, Joe, ain't nobody saying none of this.
I'm talking to you. So did he play a bad game?
No, you Monray. The Packers went to bed. or
it's so entertaining, seeing it from the opposite perspective, where I'm just watching and I'm not the host. It's amazing to watch this and get the experience that y'all get. It's hilarious. Anyway, if you want my honest opinion, yeah, the Packers choked. They choked the heck out of the game. It's not a lie. Now, with respect to Zell, they did get lucky. Get some lucky plays to go their way in the beginning of the game, with some miscues, some mistakes from the Bears, starting out rough. But there's no way you can sit here and be like, the Packers had an 18-point lead at halftime and then come out and only score 6 points and say that they play. No, they choked. They choked the game. You gave up an 18-point lead. It just did. No, you gave up a 15-point lead at the fourth quarter. There's no way you're gonna really look at that and be like, they choked. Like, now, did the Bears capitalize on their mistakes? Yes. Were the Bears able to walk them down the field with field goal, then touchdown? Sure. But the sad fact about it is that they choked. Now, if you want to put it on their kicker, you can do that, because any of those kicks go in that McManus missed, and people were warning them that, hey, McManus might should have been let go or swapped out in the season when he was struggling a little bit. But no, they stuck with him. And I'm just saying, I think it was 2 missed field goals, a missed extra point. Any of that go in, and the last drive of the game is far different, because they had to drive the length of the field to get a touchdown. If they only had to drive down to get a field goal, whole different metric. But unfortunately, that combined with the offense just being unable to find any way to get down the field and score over the course of the third quarter and a good chunk of the fourth, it just doesn't look good. Definitely with some questions looked at Matt LaFleur a little bit. Jordan Love played a great game, but they came up short. The defense pretty much wet the bed in the second half. And it's just, they choked. Now, I said the Bears and Caleb showed that he does have a clutch gene. They've been able to make a lot of comebacks over the course of this season, definitely in the fourth quarter. But this was the fourth biggest comeback in playoff history. I think the fourth biggest, especially in the fourth quarter, something like that.
What was it? 25 point lead? 20, 50, 25? I don't see what this game was. Hold up.
I'd say it was 18 around the area, something like that. But either way, this was a huge comeback. And
It
it's
was
just
21-3. It was 18-point lead. It was 18.
18 points. I'm just like,
It's
bro,
got
you
25
can't.
points in the fourth quarter.
So, yeah, they choked. And just, you want to put a lot of it on their kicker. You want to put on their offense, put on their defense, whichever way they choked the game. Yes. And it's unfortunate. And shout out to the Bears for capitalizing on that, being able to maintain their composure after a really rough first half. Caleb being able to, keep his mindset steady, walk him down. Williams, we give it to you, shout out to him because he walked them down. But yeah, Green Bay let that one go, and that one's gonna sting now that we come to another one and out because they went one and out last year, and after the aspirations this year, trading for Micah and to still be at an 18-point lead at halftime with all the injuries, and let this one go to your hated rival. This is the Bears' division to lose. So going forward into next year now because of it.
Listen, Jordan Love played a great game, 323 yards, 4 touchdowns. Romeo Dobbs showed up. Golden got his first touchdown, played an amazing game. Reed got involved. You got a second year and a first year receiver that we'll see if they can take off in Golden and what's his name? The one that
Matthew Golden with Romeo Dobbs.
No, Christian Watson.
Christian Watson, yeah.
So they're the two young people. So we'll see how they do. But one of them, if they evolve into a number one receiver, Jordan Love got a bright future. But I would say they choked, but the Bears kind of choked in the first. That 32 game, they basically gave them a touchdown. They spotted them a touchdown right there. So they I think they muffed a punt return that basically led them deep down the field, the fumble, the 2 interceptions, a bunch of false starts. They gave them a lot of opportunity to get the big lead. And in the fourth quarter, Caleb Williams with the shimmy pump fake, 24 bit on it.
Yeah, that pump fake to DJ Moore was disgusting, boy. That move was nasty. I gotta give him props. That was nasty.
I know what old boy was thinking because they only had to get 3 yards to get the first down. So you didn't want to get in the first down. So I'm gonna bite on it. I'm gonna get it because he usually don't pump fake. Hit him with that pump fake. DJ Moore turned up. I said, "Oh, he open." That was a beautiful play call. Ben Johnson, despite all the mistakes he made, he did the same thing in Detroit. They called a hell of a game. DJ Moore, they got a lot of weapons. They found a Ricky and Loveland, their tight end. That's insane. What he had? 8 receptions, 137 yards. DeAndre Swift ran the ball. I think the Bears got to run the ball a lot more in the next game if they're going to be more effective because I don't think you should throw the ball 48 times with Caleb Williams. I don't think that's what you want to do.
Not right now, no.
I'm saying you got 2 really good running backs that I think average 4 yards a carry. I think you might want to lean on that a little more in this game. So we'll see how they do with that. But he only threw 50%, but he threw 2 touchdowns, 2 big touchdowns at the end of the game, and then 2 picks to go early. I think Walk Him Down Williams did what he did all season.
You love that name, Walk Him Down Williams. It's crazy.
He don't blink, and I appreciate people that don't blink. But I think the Packers played a good game. They just got on some good play calls by Ben Johnson, a good execution on some of the play. One was a breakdown though on that third down, but other than that, the rest of them were just created by the play calling before. Zacchaeus on that crossing route, he had no chance. The same way when we talked that crossing route, Zacchaeus, he got a linebacker on him 1-on-1 going on a crossing route. Yeah, the linebacker ain't covering Zacchaeus on that 1-on-1 situation. Even if it was a matchup zone, which I think it might was, I had to look at the game again. But I think that was the one that had a matchup zone as the kids got it, or it was the third down. But it was a good game. It was one of the most exciting games of the week. Jordan Love and them had a chance. He dropped the ball. I think if he didn't drop it, they would have went for a first down and called a timeout. But I think when he dropped it, he realized time was running out, and he wouldn't have time to throw it in the middle of the field without time running out. So I think it went from that to a Hail Mary that they didn't plan. So nobody knew where they was going. Because you can tell, oh boy, they ran 2 short routes. And then it was wide open for the first down. But the ball was still on the ground. And then when it hit 3 seconds, he was like, shit, fuck it. If I throw it to y'all,
you gotta heave it up there. And it was yeah.
Run around. So I think they panicked a lot. So I think that's it. Let's see if Uniqo got an opinion on this. Uniqo.
Yeah.
Bears, know what you think about the Walk Him Down Williams.
Shout out to welcome down Williams. But on some real shit, Zelmae, you're wrong. Fucking Monray, you're fucking wrong. You're not right. Why do you think you're right? Tell me why you're right. Tell me why you're right now.
Because I am.
Yeah, nigga, I'm talking to you. So tell me why you're right now.
Because I am.
You're not. No, you're not. You're not right.
What am I wrong
You're
about?
not right. You're wrong.
What am I wrong about?
So do we need to go to all these fucking games today, right? So
No, we're just on the Bears and Packers.
Is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Texans. You got anything to say about that?
We just talked about it.
We talked about them already.
All right, fine. I'm saying, so what do you got to say about that?
Defense dominated.
And then did I not tell you that?
No.
I did. I 100% told you that.
I think everybody said it.
I told him that. I told him that. I told Monray, I said, hey, you wrong. Period. Okay, so let's go on to the next thing.
All right, next up we got Eagles and 49ers. I'm gonna let y'all laugh at me for this.
Okay, let's do that because I told his ass that too. I told him. I keep telling the guy. I tell him all the time. Yes, you. I tell you this shit all the time. I tell you, you're wrong, Monray. I keep on telling you that you're wrong. Am I wrong?
Yes.
How am I wrong?
Because I don't be wrong.
You be wrong as fuck. What are you talking about?
What do I be wrong about?
You're not right about this whole situation, period.
So the Packers didn't choke?
No. But listen, let me tell you. I'm talking about this. You said that the Texans suck.
When did I say that?
Right. Yes, you did. You did say that. Yes, you did, bro. You said that they fucking suck, bro.
When did I say that?
Last weekend.
Why would I say they suck?
I don't know. That's on you.
But I didn't say they suck.
Yes, you did. Yes, you fucking did, dude. Yes, you did.
Thank you, Uniqo Williams. But shout out to Uniqo. You know, always bring it in. But next, we got the 49ers versus the Eagles. The offensive coordinator is fired. I can stay a fan. Because I said it. If they are not firing this offensive coordinator, I can't be a fan until he's fired.
Well, luckily, everybody, we now can get a completely neutral Zelmae for the most part. Now that the Eagles are no longer in the playoffs and his biasness has been taken down with Kevin Patullo, now we can have him neutrally and think logically without these blasphemous takes and things of that nature. So, unfortunately, the Eagles didn't choke. They just it's weird to say they weren't ready. They just simply weren't ready. They weren't ready. Yeah, they dropped the ball, all right, especially AJ Brown. But it's more like they just were not ready mentally. They were not ready schematically. Everybody's been joking on them running 4 verticals on 4th and 9, into a cover 4 defense from the 49ers. Like, yeah, everybody's been yapping about that, but it's just like they were not ready. Really, primarily, they weren't ready offensively. Offensively, they haven't been ready the entire year. We've seen flashes, maybe, but we have not seen a consistent offense shout out to Nick Wright, for 4 quarters. We have not seen that all year. They have just not been able to put it together to be the dominant offense they were last year, whether it was part of the offensive line, the offensive coordinator, the quarterback, the run game. Take your pick. Just they have not been able to be consistently dominant all year. The only time was against some bad teams that they put together some good performances. Against good teams, it was never pretty. Sometimes it was ugly, sometimes it was comeback wins, sometimes it was 10-7 wins. Yeah, just is what it is. And so they've never been good. So it's like all those problems just came back to catch them this game and just show their ugly head. AJ Brown had a little tiff. Everybody's pretty much guessing that he's probably gonna be traded in the offseason, which is what they should do. So now in hindsight, if and when they trade AJ Brown, they do need some kind of wide receiver to come back. Because outside of Devontae Smith, the wide receiver room without AJ Brown really is going to be a little light, So I will say they are going to need some wide receivers, in that room along with them if they trade AJ. Other than that, yeah, the offensive line got to get better. I think the offensive line coach is also gone, something like that. Oh no, that's on the Chargers. My apologies. We'll get to that later. But yeah, the offensive line needs a little more stability. They got to get the run game right. They got to get some. Some consistency. That's the word. Some consistency on offense, especially in identity. Their identity last year was a run first team, throw second. Now they got to find some kind of identity again. I would think something similar to what they had since Saquon is still there. Seems healthy, seems no problem. So I would think something like that and just work with that, get a really dynamic offensive coordinator that can get y'all right and just go from there. But they just weren't ready. They were not ready this entire year. They weren't locked in this entire year, not necessarily on offense. So we'll see what it spells for them in the future, but they weren't ready. And the 49ers have been the opposite. I ain't got to speak much on them. They've been locked in all year, regardless of the injuries. They have been greedy. They've been able to play with their competition for better and for worse. They have a wonderful head coach a wonderful defensive coordinator that's been able to salvage them through major injuries across the board. And they just came ready to play. Stole the game.
This is my problem with the whole situation. The 49ers played well. At the end of the game, they had a trick play that basically won the game. Jawan Jennings, Blankenship left his man to look at the reverse, got wide open. The first C-Mac touchdown, that dude was never guarding him. He led him to the outside, beat him inside. You ain't nothing. I don't care. The Kobe Dean could never hold that. Nobody's in the league gonna hold him like that unless it's Luke Kuechly, who is like brilliant and was gonna lead him to do that. But nobody gonna stop it. The second play, Blankenship should have stayed with him after he saw the man still running up the field. But your eyes is looking at what your eyes do, so I don't blame him for that. The first three drives for Jalen Hurts was majority of his yards, 91 yards. His first three drives. He only had 168. He had more. They had, I think, 11 drives? He had more yards in the first three drives, which is every game. Every game, it's the same thing. First three drives, well, and then we do it. I think they said we got on the center 7 times. Monray, guess how many times we ran the ball when he got on the center?
5.
7.
Dang.
So every time we got on the center, we ran the ball. And the 49ers players literally said they knew it because that's what we do. 90% of the time, we run the ball when we get on the center. So they knew to stop Saquon, which Saquon had 100 yards, mostly out of shotgun, by the way. Because they finally didn't shock everybody because everybody like, oh, they're actually running the ball. And then they stopped for a long time. And Saquon didn't get the ball after he broke like twice. And then he get the ball long time.
Yep.
And then we start throwing deep to AJ, who dropped the ball multiple times. A lot. One of them he didn't even go for. He didn't die for that ball. All he looked at that mug. Like, you gotta lay out. Even if you drop it, I can blame Jalen for it but you gotta at least die for it. Then the other one was you just flat out dropped it. And then on third down, you dropped it. It was just Patella ran the worst offense a high school offense. So I don't know what in the world. And it's on Sirianni because why would you hire your friend to coach? And he sucks. When we went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, we literally fired the offense coordinator in the middle of the season because it didn't work. It's a simple game. But shout out to Brock Purdy, played very good. Brock Purdy had a good game. He ran the ball well. Christian McCaffrey didn't get a lot in the running game, but got a lot in the passing game, which will set up some interesting games later. But that fourth down, I saw some people complain about the play call. Some of the slants was wide open. Jalen missed it to Dotson, but he usually don't throw it. I don't know why they like ingrained in him to throw it to certain routes, but I don't know if it's him or them. Which comes up to Speakeasy Shady McCoy, who I believe is just speaking because they just speak for highlight topics so they can go viral on the internet. I'm just gonna be there. I can't watch Speakeasy. I can watch Acho go over play. I cannot watch that show. They just say things to go viral. I promise you ain't talked to nobody in that offense to say he can't run play. You ain't talking to nobody to do it. He has had 10 offensive coordinators in like the last 10 years of his life, from Alabama to Oklahoma to the Eagles. He had 3 of the last 3 years. If Wacom here, this is the first time we heard that complaint from all the offensive coordinators. Kellen Moore didn't have this problem last year with him. So why in the world he had the problem this year? Why are they talking about it? If he didn't have that problem last year, when he threw for 300 yards in the Super Bowl, or the year before, he had another offensive coordinator. Monray, how many yards he threw for that in that Super Bowl? He threw for more than that one.
What, the first Super Bowl?
Yeah, didn't he throw for 330?
It was 3 something. Let me see.
Yeah. So he had 330 in the first Super Bowl. He had almost 300 in this last year's Super Bowl. But all of a sudden, he don't know how to play quarterback all of a sudden when we got Patella as quarterback. But somehow, Shady McCoy just knows some secrets of some dark people in the internet who he can't throw the ball because that's the reason the offense didn't work. That doesn't make sense to me. A man can throw for 300 yards in the Super Bowl. He beat the 49ers, who had a healthy defense 2 years ago. A completely healthy defense, Monray. 2 years ago. He beat that team by throwing the ball very well, by the way. He beat a healthy 49ers defense that's elite. And he threw the ball to beat him. But all of a sudden this year, don't speak easy, just be talking. I'm shaded. They just say things to go viral. That's it.
It was 304 yards in the first Super Bowl.
Yeah. 300 yards in the Super Bowl. So he
not counting any rushing yards, just throwing.
So according to Shady McCoy, he can't throw exotic plays, even though he did. I don't know what's going on. But 49 played well. Let's go back. Let's see what you did go. 49. How you feel about it?
Why y'all take me out of here, man?
You keep repeating the same thing.
Everybody's watching right now. What I'm saying is, like, why are you taking me out of here, bro?
Because we're getting tired. You asked the same question, though. We got to move on.
Okay, let's talk about it. So let's talk about the Lakers for a second, okay? Can we talk about the Lakers?
No, we're doing football.
Huh?
It's a football episode.
No, we can do that, but I'm saying, like, let's talk about the Lakers for a second. So,
Patriots.
Okay, we lost to Utah, right?
All right. That's NBA season. It happens.
Huh?
It's NBA season. It happens.
That don't happen. That's not a real thing, right?
No, it happens a lot.
We don't lose to Utah.
Everybody lose to everybody in the NBA. It's part of the NBA. So part of the regular season.
No, we don't lose to Utah. And you know that. Right?
Thank you, Uniqo Williams. But he always gives us entertaining talks and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He give us a Lakers, Utah talk. Good job getting NBA correspondent, Uniqo Williams. But next up, we got Patriots and Chargers. More, how you feel about the game?
So if you go back to last week, we had a playoff version of the Fraud Watch. And on there, we had a good number of teams. And I remember saying, even in chats between me and Zell and the crew, that I didn't really have anybody. I didn't really think anybody was a fraud in the playoffs when they were playing. Everybody played, had great games or great moments or fought. They were all competitive. And then Sunday night happened. And then Saturday night happened. And we were forced to see a very defensive, mind you, very defensive game between the Chargers and Patriots. And only one team were able to execute anything on offense. Shout out to Drake May. It was a rough first half, but he was able to put together some plays. He had found the end zone and then there was Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense that apparently weren't plugged in. Offensive coordinator and offensive line coach have both been fired. Now, do I put that entire game on Justin Herbert? No. No, it was a combination of multiple things. It was the offensive line being steady at first and then just declining as the game went on to where in the fourth quarter they basically unplugged their controller and they didn't play anymore. But it was also some Justin Herbert just not executing or being able to make plays. And for the Justin Herbert that people have consistently wanted to put top 5 conversations or, great talent conversations or best quarterback in his division conversations, that Herbert just don't exist right now. I'm sorry, but, the way we used to get on Lamar for not being able to win a playoff game with your great ability and stuff, Herbert is there. Can't deny it anymore. Like I say, it's not all him, but it was a combination of him, the offensive line, even the receivers struggling to get really any kind of separation. We've been talking about Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Keenan Allen even. Nobody was really able to help out their quarterback that much, at least over the course of the game. They're mostly getting shut down, but just Herbert wasn't able to make any plays. Like, one turnover put them in the 10-yard line. They didn't even score. Like, it's not really a lot that you could say about that game. It was just bad. It was bad all the way around. And I think now, until they win a playoff game, the Chargers just have to be frauds. And, we'll come out after the postseason with the top 5 frauds of the NFL season. We already got a couple of contenders for number 1, between the Eagles and Chargers. We already got a couple of contenders. But just, I'm sorry, man. That game is going to be a trifecta indictment, along with the other 2 playoff losses. A trifecta indictment on Justin Herbert's career going forward until they win a playoff game. It's not going to matter what they do in the regular season anymore. Nobody's going to care if they win 10-plus games. Nobody's going to care if they're number 1 through 7 seed. Now, nobody's going to even care if Justin Herbert wins MVP next year. Let's just get that out the way. He can win MVP, they wouldn't care. Why? Because it only matters in the playoffs. And now he may be the only quarterback in. No, I don't think Geno Smith has won a playoff game, but he might be, one of the only quarterbacks in our, top 10 conversations, top 10 quarterbacks that may not have a playoff win. Just saying. It's rough, but that's how it's going to be going forward. And I hate it for the Chargers because they're a talented team.
Trevor Lawrence came back on him, right?
Huh?
Was it Trevor Lawrence that came back on him, or he came back on Trevor?
Yeah.
Lawrence?
Biggest playoff comeback in history, I believe. I think 25 points. Yeah, that's 25 point when I remember.
So
biggest playoff comeback in history. That's on him.
So
over 27 points.
Caleb Williams do got a playoff win if you want to put him up there. Drake May now has a playoff win if you want to put him up there.
Dak Prescott got one.
Dak Prescott got one too. Dak Prescott
Baker Mayfield got one. Jaden Daniels got 2. Like, I'm just saying, like, when we had these top 10 quarterback conversations on this show, late on in the season or whatever, we're going to look at Justin Herbert and be like, you might be the only one on this list that don't have a playoff win.
I thought of rookies and second-year players. Even the second, Drake May got drafted last year. Caleb and Jaden Daniels got drafted. Them the top 3 picks last year. All of them got a playoff win.
I'm just saying, if next week comes, and, not really saying anything about the quarterback, I'm just saying, if next week comes and Bo needs to get a playoff win, for Justin Herbert do?
Monray made a plan to think about. Drake May, Caleb Williams, and Jaden Daniels were the top 3 picks last year. All 3 got a playoff win before.
And the worst part about it, I don't even care if Bo Nix don't get a playoff win. The sad fact, Bo Nix got a number 1 playoff seed.
And a division playoff.
He's gotten farther in the playoffs.
Without having to play.
Without having, like, you see how bad the landscape, the portrayal, this chapter is going to look for Justin Herbert there? It's going to look really bad. And I was like, I hate that for him because he's very talented. He's a very talented quarterback.
Getting a playoff win if you went for Matthew Stafford throwing that.
It's gonna look. It's gonna be. It's just bad. It's bad look. Like I said, shout out Justin Herbert. He's a talented quarterback in there. I'm just saying what it's gonna look like on the landscape. It's gonna be like, bro, all your contemporaries and everybody, either got number one seeds that got farther in the playoffs, they got a playoff win, and you on your pedigree have the biggest playoff comeback in history, and you were the one that gave it up. And then you follow that up with a 4 interception game last year against the Texans, and follow that up with a 3-point showing against the Patriots. It's not going to look good. And mind you, we say this now. Now, I'm not going to put him on any kind of hot seat or nothing. That'll be another conversation of coaches on the hot seat next year and all that kind of stuff. But next year, I mean, if this goes on for another year, let's just say another year go by, they don't win the playoff game or they don't make the playoffs, whatever the case may be. When you going to start looking at Harbaugh? Because Harbaugh was bought in specifically to get Justin Herbert over the hump, to be a tremendous improvement on Brandon Staley. Same results. Just saying, man.
I want to say something about the game. Both quarterbacks led in rushing. Herbert 57 yards, Drake May 66. Justin Herbert, only person that played a worse game than him was Aaron Rodgers, because even Jalen Hurts played a better game than Justin Herbert. Because Jalen Hurts had more yards and a touchdown. Justin Herbert didn't have a touchdown or less. But of course he didn't. He had 3 points.
Bro, he had 70-something yards over 3 quarters. Like most of the extra yards came on like the last throwaway garbage time where they were flying down the field. He had less than 100 yards for most of the game.
Aaron Rodgers had a bad game because them turnovers at the end. But
and like I said, all of it's not on Herbert. His offensive line was very bad in the second half, especially. It was very bad. The receivers weren't able to get any kind of separation on the defense of the Patriots. Like, it was just an offensive failure all the way around. All the way around, from the coaching. Like I said, coaching was a struggle. Not saying the coaching was bad. It was a struggle. The offensive coordinator couldn't get no plays through. The quarterback couldn't get anything going. The receivers couldn't get no separation. The run game couldn't get going. The offensive line, it was an entire offensive breakdown for 4 quarters.
Before we go next game, we have Uniqo muted himself, so I don't know what you're talking about. But Nico, you're muted. I don't think he knows he's muted. He is muted. Shout out to our silent correspondent, Uniqo Williams.
Not the silent correspondent.
You're the silent correspondent right now? Thank you, Uniqo. Thank you for your contributions to Uniqo Williams. But next up, we got the Rams and Panthers. Listen, shout out to Bryce Young. He played amazing. I love that game. If it wasn't for one of the best passes I have ever seen in my life for a touchdown. Oh, Matthew Stafford. That man had his hand right here on the ball. And he threw it right there. And he got both feet in bounds. Holy, what a throw. That's what you call a Hall of Fame throw right there. He threw it straight to my boy, the young Parkinson. I'm like, where did y'all find him from? That throw was incredible, Monray, and that's the only reason Bryce Young lost. Bryce Young threw for 264 yards, one touchdown, one interception. The interception was weird. I don't know why he threw that early in the game, but Matthew Stafford, 304, 3 touchdown, 1 pick. Kyron Williams, 57. Puka did what Puka do, 10 for 111 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Coker, by the way. They got a nice receiving core between McMillan and Coker. That's a nice.
I do think they might need another deep threat, like somebody to help spread the field out a little bit more. Taylor McMillan is really good. I like him, especially for some of these routes, some of the middle.
I'll be on my boy, the one that dropped it at the end.
Like I said, we'll see if he's able to develop a little more. But like I said, if they can get somebody to help space their field a little bit, and then the run game, I would like it to be more consistent. But other than that, I like what they got so far. Like, it's a good thing. If Bryce can, make a leap, it's going to be a fourth year leap, because I'm assuming they're probably going to take his. Like I said, he has a 5th year option. They have to decide if they take. I think that playoff game will probably say, like, okay, we'll probably go ahead and take the 5th-year option just because the playoff game looked really good. So I'm not mad at that. I think he played his way into having another year starting at least.
Good second half of the season.
Yeah. I think he played his way to having another year starting. Probably make a little bit more money. And we'll see what happens next year if the team can get a little bit more consistency. Because now their division is definitely going to be up for grabs since I don't know the state of the Buccaneers anymore. The Buccaneers have had really like a 2-3 year window to dominate their division, get in the playoffs. Ain't been able to do nothing with it. Ty Bowles going to be on the hot seat next year. I'm telling you it now. It is what it is. But shout out to them. They played well. And I ain't really got to say much about the game. Like, the game ended up being a shootout when everybody thought it was going to be a blowout. This makes me, the Rams offense is there. I think they're going to be good. I think next week against the Bears, I think it's an outright shootout because the Rams secondary has shown that they're suspect. Like, whether it's injuries or what, their secondary is suspect, which means the Bears, who, like playing in the second half a little bit more than the first half, but the Bears who also like making deep throws down the field, with Caleb Williams and the cannon of arm and fourth downs and trick plays with Ben Johnson's. And then you got Sean McVay, who's been there, done that, one of the best coaches in the league. And then you got Matthew Stafford, who's playing on an MVP level. I think we're in for a doozy in Chicago next week. I'll doozy. I don't know who coming out that game, but we're in for a doozy. So
we'll predict them in a moment. But listen, shout out. I was proud. I came out that game proud of Bryce Young because we was like, I was like, they'll lose by 10. And they ain't gonna match. And everybody else was like, they'll lose by more than 10. I'm like, even at work, people are like, oh yeah, I'll take that over on them. And they made Matthew Stafford have to throw a game-winning touchdown that put show why you're a Hall of Famer. He did it. And he did it. So I'm like, you put that much pressure on Matthew Stafford that he had to do that. He had to pull it out. He a Hall of Famer. So he did what he had to do. But you put pressure on a Hall of Fame quarterback to have to play with a great offense. Y'all did y'all thing. Like Monray said, the defense looked suspect. They did. But at the same time, I appreciate what they did with that because I thought at one point I thought the game was gonna get ugly. I think it was 14-0.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden,
I was like,
he started. They just started.
Yeah, when Puka got that rush, they gave him a rushing touchdown for that. But when he got that second touchdown, I was like, uh-oh. It might get rough. And then I think one of them they fumbled the kickoff, the punt return, which gave them an easy touchdown.
Yeah, I think what they muffed it.
Yeah, so it looked like he was gonna get out of hand. And them boys held in and gave us a really good game. Outside the last two games wasn't good, but outside that, it was great. So I do appreciate that game. And last but not least, Josh Allen was a superhero again. And he had to be against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence played a decent game, but he make too many mistakes. He makes way too many little mistakes. Even on that fourth down, even the most mundane things. Somehow, I have never seen a human being drop to their knee and bounce off their knee to go down. I'm like, bro, just let your leg go and dive forward.
Yeah, it looked like he slipped or something. Like it wasn't.
He tried to go down fast and it was weird. I'm like, your knee should never be like that. You should go flat. But it's like your body don't naturally do that either. So I don't know how he got that off. But
I don't want to say the moment was too big for him. I don't believe that when he made a comeback. He got the biggest comeback in NFL history in the playoffs. I don't want to say that. It just seems like I said they just made mistakes, and maybe like it was a little, maybe like the pressure sort of got to them a little bit, and they never really found their flow over the course of the game. Now, of course, the Bills also struggled. They couldn't really get the run game off the ground, and everything really had to go through Josh Allen. He was basically their entire offense because they couldn't really get what they needed to off the ground. The run game, I thought we were going to be able to find money in. And
really by far the number one rush defense in the league.
Yeah. So, like, it went through Josh Allen. Josh Allen did his part. The problem was just the Bills have the number one passing defense, or at least top 3 passing defense.
Yeah.
But their run defense is horrendous. And yet they couldn't really find consistency running the ball, which is crazy considering Travis Etienne has been having a monster year.
Wait, we ain't. Travis Etienne averaged 6.7 yards a carry. He only had 10 carries. That's the problem.
All right,
He averages almost a first down a carry, but he only got 10 carries. That's on the coach, by the way. Shot Cohen, I know that the black lady, I love her for doing that. The media is weird. All them weird journalists hating on her. But Cohen, if you don't,
like I said, he had 10 carries. I don't quite understand.
Why did
It just seemed like they really didn't find any kind of consistency. They stopped running the ball for whatever reason. I didn't really notice that they only had 10 carries, which is crazy. But they stopped running the ball. And then they stopped running the ball. You know, you see Trevor Lawrence having a mixed bag of a game. You know, he had a pick early. Wasn't making every throw. So it's like, okay, it's a little back and forth. You know the Bills have amazing pass defense. Why not run the ball when you're getting 6 yards, 7 yards a carry? I don't know. And it also would took the pressure off of Trevor to not have to throw the ball as much on seemed like a really gritty game. It's a bit weird, but like I said, at the end of the game,
side of the field again. I don't know. That was a theme this week. Everybody wanted to go up for fourth down, and nobody got it. Damn it.
And to be fair, it really happened in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, okay, fine. Y'all start to go back and forth in touchdowns, okay? Because we have to give props to. I'm going to give props to Trevor Lawrence and the offense. They were able to find the end zone in clutch moments during the fourth. Yeah. They had go-ahead touchdowns twice. No, they scored with Parker Washington. They scored with Travis Etienne. So they were able to do it, but the defense couldn't hold up. Josh Allen was able to pull some greatness out of him, the offense, and of course the head coach. They were able, and Sean McDermott, shout out to them to being able to keep their composure. They were able to go tip for tat. So when they got their touchdown, it just seemed like they forced it. They ripped it a little too quick. Ball went off of the man's hands and went to be picked off.
I'm gonna tell you a stat. They ran 20 times. They ran 22 times. They had 154 yards rushing. Monray, the starter, Etienne had 6.7 yards a carry. The backup, Tootin, had 4 carries for 51 yards. That's 13 yards a carry. Trevor Lawrence had 5 yards a carry. So that means when they ran the ball, on average, they almost got them their first down every time they ran the ball.
I don't understand what's with teams not being concerned. Why do you not run the ball? I don't understand when it works. Like if it don't work, like for the Bills, it didn't work. Fine, we understood that. If it works, why do you stop running the ball? I really boggles my mind. I have to ask this question. We saw it during this. It's half of the reason Harbaugh's out. It's half the reason Harbaugh's out of a job right now because they didn't consistently run the ball when you had Derrick Henry in the backfield, and you stop running the ball when it's working.
They didn't get Steelers, by the way.
They stopped running the ball. And but that's half the reason why Harbaugh's out of job, because they stopped running the ball when it was needed, when it was working. And then Liam Cohen is getting 6.7 yards to carry from your starter. Backups are getting money, and you stop running it. When your quarterback is not having the best game, I don't know. Like I said, it's his first year as a head coach. Like I said, not his first year being in the playoffs, because I said he was with the Buccaneers. But first year as a head coach, I don't quite understand what him and offense coordinator were thinking of with that one. But hopefully they'll use this experience. Re-sign Travis Etienne because he had a great year this year. They need a premier run game to be able to support Trevor Lawrence. So hopefully Trevor Lawrence can keep on making some steps going forward. Like I said, he had a really good year, but especially the second half of the year, they were flowing. So hopefully they're able to make some more pathways going forward. As far as the Bills, I said it last week. I didn't believe they would win this game because I thought the Jaguars were a more complete team, and on paper that they are. It just happens that they stopped running the ball and threw interceptions. But I'll say this. This is the year now. There's no more excuses because going forward, all 3 of the remaining teams in the playoffs for the AFC are teams that the Bills can beat. They've already beaten the Patriots. They're tied 1-1 with them. The Broncos, if I remember correctly, they played last year, and the Bills beat them down. And the Bills also, last year, is it the same Broncos team? No, not necessarily. But did the Broncos have a great defense last year? Yeah. They had a great defense last year. Was Bo Nix playing well? Yeah. Bo Nix was playing well last year, too. they beat the skin off of the Broncos last year. So they can beat the Broncos. I'm not saying that it's a new year and stuff, but they can beat the Broncos. Can they beat the Patriots? Yes. And the Texans, they didn't beat the Texans, but they were literally on the 30-yard line with around, I can't remember the exact stats of the game, but I think it was like less than a minute to go, about a minute to go in the game, not really any timeouts. And Josh Allen was right there. And he'd be getting roughhoused the entire time by the Texans defense. And they were literally a few yards away from being able to win that game. So all three of those teams are beatable. So this year, no excuse. You either get to the Super Bowl.
He gonna get his ass beat because every team here gonna hit his ass. I know that.
Well, I mean, no. To shout out to the Bills offensive line. They have a good offensive line. All right, let's just put them too. They got a good offensive line. It's just, they got a good offensive line. But basically, all three of the teams that they are going to play are beatable by the Bills. So therefore, if they don't get to the Super Bowl this year, the season is a failure. It's a outright failure if they don't get to the Super Bowl this year. It didn't start out the year that way because of Patrick Mahomes and other stuff. But even with your bad run defense,
I just don't know if they can beat the Texans. CJ Stroud,
they can beat the Texans. Like I'm not gonna say you can't beat a team where you were literally on the 30-yard. I think on
David Mills though. That was David Mills Texas.
It don't matter. CJ Stroud didn't look that good like this past game. They scored 30. He didn't score for 30. He scored 14.
Still is good.
Good.
I don't think, but
the offense did not look good. They literally didn't. So literally, what the game is gonna come down to, if they play the Texans, it's gonna be the same thing that happened last time. The offense, they ain't gonna pass the ball that well. Woody Marks ain't an amazing running back, so they ain't gonna run the ball amazingly just on paper. I'm not saying in reality. On paper, their run game don't scare nobody. They're not necessarily passing the ball that well because all they got is Nico Collins and Jaden Higgins, rookies and stuff. They don't have an amazing pass game.
Kirk played good this week. Kirk played good.
It's wonderful. He also didn't have to. They also played wonderful because look who they played. They destroyed the Steelers. But I'm just saying, like as an example, that the Texans don't have anything that would make me outright say the Bills can't beat them. Like, I just don't see that because they literally came within 5 points and 30 yards from being able to beat them. So, like, I'm not gonna say the Bills can't do it when they were this close to doing it. That's like me saying that the Bills couldn't beat the Patriots after the Patriots only beat them by 3 points and the Bills had the ball at the end of the game. Like, the Texans are beatable. Now, are they on like a 9-game win streak? Yes, wonderful. I'm saying shout out to Texans, doing a great job. DeMeco Ryans turning that whole season around when it started off rough. Shout out to him. But are they unbeatable by the Bills? Absolutely not. The Bills could beat any team remaining in the playoffs. Will they? Is another thing entirely.
Speaking of,
absolutely.
Speaking of, let's start it right now. Let's start with game 1 on Saturday. Broncos, Bills. Who you got and why? We're talking about it, so let's get to it.
I got the Bills. Straight up. And mainly because, one, the Bills, I don't feel like they're going to fear. Like I said this last week, the Bills, if they beat the Jaguars, who seem like the most complete team entering the playoffs, or at least one of them, then they could beat anybody in the AFC. They beat them. They were close, but they beat them. Combination of defense and offense. So the team, they're humming right now. They feel good. Do they have 3 away games? Yes. So it's going to make it a little bit more difficult. But going to Denver, the Bills play in cold weather because Buffalo, New York is cold. So they play in cold weather. So the cold's not going to affect them. Bo Nix, his last playoff appearance didn't look amazing, so like I don't think nobody's really. And plus, throughout the entirety of the year, their offense has looked like a combination of the Eagles and the Bears offenses. Like, it ain't really looked good for 4 quarters throughout most of it, but they've been able to come back in the 4th quarter and be able to steal a lot of games. It just has went. So most likely it's going to be either a slog or a shootout. And then you got Josh Allen, who I trust more than the other quarterback, and the Broncos offense doesn't look amazing. So if I think it's going to be something close, I'm going to go with the quarterback I trust more in a close situation, which is Josh Allen. And also, the Jaguars did beat the Broncos down a few weeks ago. And if you can beat the Jaguars, you can beat the Broncos. So I'm going to go with Josh Allen in a close one because I think they're humming and I think, I would trust them more, even though the Broncos have been clutching it out for a lot of their wins. I'm gonna go with the Bills.
I'm going with the Bills too. What? Josh Allen. I'm just thinking Josh Allen gonna Superman, even though I think he's gonna get banged up in this game, but I think he's gonna clutch it out. If he don't, I think he's not gonna throw picks. If he throw a pick, if he start throwing picks, it might get iffy because
if he go ugly, then it's gonna get bad. Because like I said, the Broncos secondary does have elite positions on secondary. So a lot of the offense is going to come through Josh Allen. He's gonna have to use his legs. But it's gonna be similar to what had to happen in this game. Like it's really similar to what he had to do in this game. In this game, they couldn't run the ball, so a lot of it had to go through him and fitting balls in tight windows, and helping to make stuff work with his legs. He got to do some of the same thing. The problem that the other reason is because the Broncos have scored. I don't have faith that the Broncos are going to just.
Can they run the ball on them?
Huh?
You think the Broncos can run the ball on the Bill?
Yeah.
Keep away.
Yeah, they can run the ball on them. It's just the Broncos have nobody on offense, and I mean on the entire offensive side of the ball. They have nobody on offense that I feel like, okay, this person could take over the game and propel the Broncos. I ain't got no faith in nobody over there. Like their run game, RJ Harvey okay, cool. Bo Nix, okay, cool. What about the wide receivers? Cortland Sutton, like this. I have no faith in nobody on offense, and I don't know the effects of having a week off is going to benefit them or harm them. I don't know if they're going to come in rusty or if they're going to come in hot and ready like a hot pocket to try to bake on the team. I don't know that. So I got a team. They good. They fresh. They're gonna have 6 days of rest like normal, and I'm gonna go with the quarterback I trust more because in playoffs that's typically what you have to do. I think it's gonna be close. Because the Broncos are not going to be able to, I don't think the Broncos are going to be able to throw on them like that because the Bills' pass defense is great. So they're going to have to run the ball and it's going to have to come through Josh Allen. I think the game might get a little grimy. It might be, for all I know, I don't know how cold it'll be. I don't know if it's going to snow up there. But close game, I think not superbly high scoring, probably under 20 points. Unless some magic happened in the fourth quarter where they steal it, I think Josh Allen clutches another one. Like I said, if this is his year, it's gonna have to be all through him. So we'll see.
I think the Broncos. I'm gonna say Buffalo gonna be better. James Cook gonna be a big impact on this game, so I'm gonna go with James Cook. But it's hard because Sean Payton is so good at coaching. But I'm gonna go with the Bills. I don't know about the Broncos running game. Sean Payton with an extra week though. This game is scared to me.
This thing that I'm gonna give it though. This thing that I give it to though. Also, like the other reason why I'm going with the Bills because it's not unfamiliar to them. They played the Broncos last year, and like has the Broncos changed a lot overall since last year? No, they haven't really changed a lot. Like so, have they been doing better? Yeah, they've done better this year because a lot of the coin flip games, like we said with the Chiefs, the previous year, when a lot of coin flip games go your way. A lot of coin flip games have went the way of the Broncos for them to get this number one seed. And I'm happy for them. I'm proud for them for that. But they're just the playoffs, like I said, different monster. The Bills are not unfamiliar with them. So there are things that they found works against them. Now we'll see if those things work this year as well, but it's not an unfamiliar matchup. So I don't think the Bills they haven't played them this season, but they have no fear of them. I don't feel like it. So I'm gonna go.
This is my toss-up game, by the way. This is if I get one mulligan toss-up game, this will be it. But I'm picking the Bill.
A mulligan toss-up game? This ain't the game I'm putting. This ain't the game I'm picking as a toss-up. If I had to pick one, I said all of them are a little bit more toss-up. If I had to pick one toss-up one, this ain't the one.
This is my mulligan toss-up game. Even though I'm going with the Bill. So yeah, I'm calling my mulligan on this.
This ain't it.
But next up, we got the Saturday night game. Seahawks 49. I got the Seahawks. Listen.
Yeah, I think this. And mainly because the 49ers are just they banged up. They were banged up the first time they played. Now they lost Kittle too. So it's Jawan Jennings. I don't know if Ricky Pearsall will be able to play this game, but it's Jawan Jennings, Christian McCaffrey, and Brock Purdy against the world. Like, look, if Kyle Shanahan pulled this game off, boy is a wizard. I'm gonna call him Harry Potter. He will be a wizard if he pulled this game off. Yeah, and it would have to be a combination of Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh wizardry and Sam Darnold seeing ghosts. Because I do not think that if the Seahawks are actually humming on offense, that they lose this game. I just don't see that. So, but if Sam Darnold, because I said this is a bright moment, no matter what time the game is, it's a bright moment. Playoffs. Everybody watching, bright time moment playoffs. Everybody knows Sam Darnold does not play as well in prime time moments. Also, Sam Darnold has not played that well the last 2 months. So you got a week off, and they got the third time matchup, which is always a rough game to call because playing a team 3 times in a season is always difficult. Therefore, but the 49ers are even more banged up than they were the first time. Well, at least when it comes to George Kittle not being there. So if they
what's going on with this stadium.
But the thing about it is, like I said, and they going to, but the thing about it, they played them, and also they're going to Seattle. So Seattle will be at home. Now, Seattle was only able to muster up 13 points 2 weeks ago. So it's not like I'm saying that, you know, they should be able to score more. The defense will be relatively the same, but just if Brock Purdy them couldn't score before, not having Kittle is gonna make it even harder to score. So, like I said, if Kyle Shanahan pulls this
play like they did last week,
this gonna be the upset of the playoffs. If they lose this, if the Seahawks lose this game, this upset the playoffs right here. Woo, boy, this is.
Well, it took Juwan Jennings throwing touchdown passes for them to beat the Eagles, and the Eagles can't score.
They had to put it out. I just don't see that. I see the Seattle Seahawks being able to win this one. And if I had to pick a blowout of the weekend, this would probably be it. If I had to pick a blowout, just because. I don't see the 49ers just having it. Like I said, Kyle Shanahan, we'll see if you and Brock Purdy can pull out some wizardry. Otherwise, this might get ugly early.
Next up, we got the Sunday evening game, the Texans versus the Patriots. I got the Texans. I love their defense. Drake May gonna have to pull off an MVP performance, and I don't know how playoff Drake May is yet, so we have to see. But that Texas defense, C.J. Stroud been here before. He played in the playoff. He played in big games before. Drake May, this is his second biggest game, but he going against an insane defense right now. Will Anderson is a dog. And I don't know if they can just run the ball or try to hide Drake May. He can run the ball like he did on Texas, because I don't think he ran away like he did against this week. I got the Texans. I don't think C.J. Stroud plays bad either.
This is my mulligan right here, because this is my mulligan game right here. Defense can carry you through a lot, but the Patriots showed last week they can win ugly games. And Drake May was able to get, the playoff jitters hopefully off of him, because they say second half he was able to put together some plays. They was able to run the ball a little bit more efficiently and everything. And that defense showed me that they can get after a quarterback with a bad offensive line. That's exactly what the Texans have. The Texans have a bad offensive line. They have always had a bad offensive line. So this game could look suspiciously like the game we just saw about the Patriots and Chargers. Now, the Texas defense is better because they can get pressure with 4. The Texas defense look a little bit like the Eagles defense last year, like where they can just put 4 up there and get pressure, and Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. would just sit there and tee off on people. They showed they can do that.
Matter of fact, on that play, Aaron Rodgers fumble for the touchdown, Hunter and Anderson, the only 2 people that went.
So I was telling you, they showed with 4 people, they can get pressure.
They did it with 2 on that touchdown play. 2 people ran.
They can get pressure with 2. They showed me that. But I'm going to pick the Patriots. And it's going to seem a bit weird. It's mainly because the deficiencies that the Steelers had, the Patriots don't necessarily have. Like, their offensive line is fine. One, they have a more secure running attack. I guess I'll say a more secure running attack. But really it's because Drake May can move. He can move. Like, they can move around. He can actually run the ball. He's not more immobile like Aaron Rodgers is. He can actually escape out the pocket a little bit, stuff of that nature. Is their wide receivers amazing? No, they're not. Wide receivers are not amazing like that. But it's more of just because Drake May show, one, I can handle a rough defense in an ugly game, and we can adjust at halftime. They showed that. 2, the Texans have a bad offensive line. They also have one good wide receiver and a little bit of struggle. So they can get to the quarterback and make that ugly as well. Because like we talked about with the Steelers game, we have to make sure to remember this. The Steelers game was 10-6 in the fourth quarter before, the offensive line, everybody just finally gave out. That game was 10-6. So the offense did not really perform that game until the end because it took the defense getting 2 touchdowns. So that's not necessarily secure to say. Also, we saw the Patriots, even though we say how light their schedule was, they played defenses. They played the Browns defense, which is the number 2 overall defense. Was able to win that game. They played in this playoffs against a good Chargers defense. Was able to win that game. So they've shown that strong defenses, they can still find ways to win. And because I do not trust the offense of the Texans, and just at times, offenses can come back to bite you. Now, we've also seen that defense can literally carry you to the championship. They worked for the Legion of Boom. It worked for Peyton Manning's second ring with the Broncos defense, and even worked with the Bears. Like, we've seen that. I'm not saying that they can't win. But because the Patriots have shown that they can win against tough defenses in ugly games, and the Patriots are at home, and they just won. So right now, they're also a little bit primed and ready. I'm going to go with the Patriots. I don't know if it's going to be upset because I don't know the point spread of that game yet. I think the Patriots sneak away with a win. I think it's going to be an ugly defensive battle, just like this one was, just like Texans last game. But if the Texans have the same deficiencies, I'm going to go with the Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to squeak away. It might just be same kind of close game they just went through. It might be 16-10. I'm going to go with the Patriots. I'm going to go with the Patriots because I just do not trust the Texans offense. I just don't. I think C.J. Stroud is a good quarterback. I don't trust the offense. Like, you have one main wide receiver and, some other rookies and other people. Your run game is not dynamic. Woody Marks is solid, but it's not dynamic. I'm gonna go with the Patriots. It's crazy. The Texans might pull it out with just straight defense, but I'm gonna go with the Patriots right now because I think we might be setting up for the three-peat of Bills Patriots for the chance to go to the Super Bowl. MVP versus MVP. I can see the writing on the wall already. Push this mug all week. This is my mulligan, just in case. But I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going with who I thought. I'm going with the Texans because defense win championships, elite level defense. I don't think C.J. Stroud in the second half of they like, hey, calm down, bro. You tripping right now. I even told Monray, listen, if they lose the game, we gonna have a conversation about C.J. Stroud the way he played in that first half. I'm like, bro, don't quit throwing these picks. This is weird. Why you throw that ball when you almost got sacked? Like he panics when he almost gets set. But the second half, he calmed down, so I'm thinking he
might be shell shocked. He done had a bad offensive line all year. Like he might be shell shocked.
He turned sideways and threw it like this.
He might be shell shocked.
Eccles got a pick. Eccles was getting burnt all night. How you thought?
The man that had a bad offensive line for 2 years, bro. I'm sorry. You might be shell shocked.
Where's playoffs? We ain't got time for that. Just like AJ Brown catch the ball. We don't care about you. Was upset.
Well, too bad he didn't.
Yeah. And the final game of the week, the Chicago Bears versus Los Angeles Rams. Welcome down, Williams. I'm calling him out. He got this game.
I think it's over with. I think this is where the buck stops. I ain't gonna hold you. I think we're setting up for 2 3-peats. I think we're setting up for a good old Rams Seahawks run back round 3 for the NFC title. I think we're setting up for round 3. Why? Because the Bears defense has shown you can score on them. They've shown that pretty much all season. Their defense is suspect as all get out. You can score on the Bears defense. We have Matt Stafford playing on an MVP level with a dynamic offense. Everybody's there. And the mistakes that Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams and the offense were making in the first half, I don't think they can do that again and come back from it against a Rams offense that's this good. And like right now, they're humming. They're showing like, hey, we can score with the best of them. Now, the Rams defense is also suspect. I am not denying that it is also suspect. But it's more of also just adding in the fact that the deeper we go in the playoffs, the more pressure that's going to be on these quarterbacks. You have nothing but experience on the Rams side of the ball, whether it's Zelmae, whether it's Matthew Stafford, whether it's, Puka or rest of them, all of them have been here before. So the experience and the pressure is not going to really affect them like that. And, even if they're going to be on the away team, on the away crowd, they showed last week that they can still come in and make plays. So I think the Bears, still some of those mistakes come up, whether it's the accuracy mistakes of Caleb Williams, because, throwing 50% of your passes is not going to cut it. And eventually that's just going to catch up to them. I think it catches up to them this game. I think they put up some points, but I don't think they're going to be able to outscore. And Zelmae also does trick plays too. So I think combination of coaching, experience, and a better offense, I think the Rams pull away. I think they're just going to score more. I don't necessarily say their defense is going to shut them down, but I think they score more because I think they make less mistakes. So, pretty high power game, but I think Rams pull away with it. This could be a crazy one. This could be like 35-20, 35-27, so something like that. I think it's going to be a high power one, but I think the Rams pull away with it.
Listen, I'm already letting y'all know. I'm going to forewarn y'all. I'm going to have a clip ready. If it's Seattle and Chicago in the championship, I got a clip prepared for everybody right now. I have a clip prepared. Let the Bears and Seattle play. I had 3 weeks ago. I had 2 teams in the NFC in my top power ranking, and I got yelled at. If they the last 2, I got a clip ready. Just know. Now, Monray also got a clip ready because it's the 49ers and the Rams. So somebody might, or it might just be a mix. Who knows?
I think we're setting up a 2-3 piece. But let this be said before he even pull out any clip, because I feel like it's something I said. It's probably something along the lines of when I said Seattle versus the Bears wouldn't make the NFC Championship or some crap like that. I feel like it's something like that I said because I feel like that's familiar to me. But with what I said when it regards to that end when I fussed them out, I was not wrong. At that time in the power rankings, having the Bears on there was a lie. Whether they make it through the playoffs or not, because as we come to find out and we come to understand, just because you are the better team on paper does not mean you always win your game in football. The better team always wins more likely than not in basketball because you play 7 games. In the NFL, the best team ain't always the team that wins. So therefore, just because the Bears make it, don't mean when I fussed you out for the Bears being on power rankings when they didn't deserve to be, does not mean I was wrong. Otherwise, we shall see. This is going to be another fun weekend. We'll see what happens.
I'm looking forward to that. All right, final game, Indiana. We got one more game on Monday night. Indiana.
The championship.
Indiana versus Miami. We got a Monday night game. Can't forget the Monday night game. Indiana versus Miami. Who you got?
It's Indiana. What are we talking about? I think that, look. Shout out to Carson Beck. They've done amazing work. I have nothing against them. They've done amazing work. They have shocked the world to get here. But I think the buck stops here. Yeah, I'm sorry. But I think this is the year where Curt Cignetti, if he hasn't already, this is the year where Curt Cignetti is like, all right, it's time for me to secure myself as the best coach in college football. I think we can go ahead and start this now. Most people or some people already have him there now, like the current best coach in college football.
It probably between him and Kirby.
Him and Kirby Smart. Yeah, but I mean, if he goes on to make IU win a national title,
1 year, by the way, in 1 year,
bro, there's gonna be no debating that. There's gonna be no debate.
By the way, before last year, they were the losing this franchise in college football.
And in 1 year, you're gonna turn them from the losing this franchise to a national champion, bro. There's gonna be no denying it. Like I said, you already can make the argument that he's the best college coach now. He go and win because, like, you got to look at. He hasn't just been beating teams; they've been destroying teams. They destroyed Alabama. They ran Oregon out of the freaking stadium. And now we come to a 10 seed in Miami. Shout out, they got a good franchise. They've done great work. Look. IU has been destroying teams. This could be another example of IU putting up another 50. Now, I ain't saying it's going to be necessarily a blowout because Miami has a really good defense. But I'm just saying, bro, like, if Curt Cignetti if this is gonna be the time where he's like, hey, I'm the best college coach in college right now, but just right now, I ain't talking about history. And right now, look, a 1 year turnaround of IU from a nothing unranked team to a national champion. Not no LSU, not no Georgia, not no Bama, not no Ohio State, not no Michigan. Indiana? Bruh.
By the way,
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
By the way, I want to give him a shout out because they asked him when he first got there, what makes you here? He's like, I'll win, Google me. That's what he said. This is introduction.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
By the way, if y'all don't know, every coach in the Final Four, and I think 7 out of the Final 8 were Nick Saban disciples. And if you want to take away Ole Miss coach and put the original coach, he was also a Nick Saban disciple. So if you don't think Nick Saban got his hands on college football, the coach from Miami, Nick Saban disciple. The coach from Oregon is a Kirby Smart Nick Saban disciple. The coach from Indiana, Nick Saban disciple. Who else? The coach from I think who was the only coach in the top 8 that didn't have him?
Mm-hmm.
I know Manning had him. I know Ole Miss. Who
top 8, Oregon.
That Manning was he's a disciple.
Let's see. Top 8 is now Ohio State.
I think Ohio State coach was in there, right?
Is it Ohio State?
Yeah, well, I don't think he ever. I don't think my old boy ever coached him under Nick Saban.
Okay, that might be him. Good net. Let me see.
But I don't know about Texas Tech because it might have been 6. I thought they said 8.
Now, if it's 8, then that would be between Texas Tech, Oregon, Bama, Indiana, Georgia, Ole Miss, Miami, and Ohio State.
Well, Bama didn't, so it might have been Texas Tech, but it might be. Let's see if I Google it. Y'all can let me know in the comments. I'm looking it up.
But I'm just saying, bro, this might be the year Signetti just go ahead, comes out of nowhere and be like, bro, I'm the best college coach in football history. I mean, best college coach in currently NCAAF right now. And can't nobody say he not. He will have done in 1 year what this is gonna be bad to say. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. I had to compose myself for that. But this is gonna be basically Cursing Native will be have done what the LSU just paid Lane Kiffin to abandon Ole Miss to do. Come there and turn their franchise around to win a title. Cursing Native will have done that out of nowhere in 1 year. What they just paid Lane Kiffin millions
with
to
a team with only 8 4-stars and no 5-star.
Out of nowhere. They just paying Lane Kiffin a huge deal and plenty of NIL money to do what Cursing Native be done in 1 year. And matter of fact, won't nobody even care if Indiana don't even make the playoffs again for another 10 years. The fact that he done did this now, we were talking about how
I'm going with you, by the way, I'm going with you. By the way, shout out to Ole Miss and that run with Pete got them, I think, the #1 transfer portal class so far.
I'm happy for them.
I think they about to get to like the #1 player, #2.
I just need to know for their next schedule, when do they play LSU? I need them to put that game on the schedule. I just need to know when. Just put that game on the schedule. That game will sell out. It will sell out. It will be crazy. And make sure to put it in Ole Miss. Please.
They got, by the way, they said they were weak at defensive tackle. They went and got 2 350-pounders.
Like, just make sure. Make sure next schedule.
Y'all saw what happened with Ole Miss when they played Miami. They just ran the ball up the middle. So they went and got 2 350-pounders. They went and got a safety from Georgia. They went and got a cornerback from Florida State that had 4 picks. So they loaded up on defense with Perk. Shout out to Cub. And they recruited my other cousin, Jamario Owens from Raleigh, Mississippi. Shout out to my little cousin. We got 2 Ole Miss Rebels coming next year from the team. I think I got 3 cousins on the team. I don't know the other one though, but I think he's from Bay Spring. But I got 3 cousins, I think. So shout out to Ole Miss. Got 3 family members. Now I got to root for them again. I got too much family on this team now. By the way,
Come on.
Mr. Football, Mississippi 3A. So shout out to my cousin. We got another Mr. Football. It runs in my family, bro. Like, what can I say?
Yeah, I ain't mad at it.
And then we might have a few more that might go to Ole Miss. Some of them still getting recruited. So we'll see how many of my family members just end up at Ole Miss.
Just put the LSU game at Ole Miss next year, please.
It is at Ole Miss. So I know it's at Ole Miss.
Oh, beautiful.
They played at LSU last year. So it had to be at Ole Miss. And they are rivals, so they always play each other every year.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's
so
beautiful.
Ole Miss always gonna play LSU and Mississippi State every year, no matter what. Because I think they count as rival schools. I think you get 2 rival schools that you play every year in the SEC. So I'm looking forward to that. But like I got Miami. I think Miami just athletic. I just think they're gonna wear them down after a while because they gonna be having a fight. Because the one thing I worry about Indiana is they haven't seen yet is when Ohio State in the second half ran the ball, it was effective against Indiana. They didn't run in the first half, but it was effective. Miami don't do nothing but run the ball. They're the only team I think in the playoffs that just run the ball. So I think that's the big weakness. But I do want to give Mendoza credit because I have never seen in 2 playoff games in my life. I never thought I'd see this. He got more touchdowns than incompletion.
I will also say this. This might be something else to say. If Fernando Mendoza goes on to win this national championship, the Las Vegas Raiders might pick up the phone and make that trade for Mike Tomlin, or they might be willing to pay those crazy conditions for Harbaugh, because Mendoza will be looked at similar to like the Trevor Lawrence prospect, where he'll be looked at as almost like a can't miss prospect, because they'll be like, bro, he just won the Heisman, he just won a national title, blatant number 1 pick. This is the time where we turn our franchise around. So they may be more willing to get a guaranteed head coach if they can get Mendoza and he comes off of this run. Because this run is going to be amazing. Now, we've seen number 1 picks go bad, but I'm just saying this run will be amazing. So, boy, this is going to be a weekend. It's going to be a weekend where some dreams are dashed, some disappointments are had, and maybe a fraud or 2 is exposed. We shall see. We shall see.
We have another great weekend. Last weekend was amazing outside of the.
It started out amazing and it ended tough.
I don't think the Steelers and Texans game were bad to the fourth quarter.
No, I didn't get bad to the end. To the end, it was another defensive battle, and then just the
Steelers. Patriots and Chargers wasn't really bad until that Hunter Henry touchdown.
Well, no, like I said, it was just a defensive battle. And I don't mind defensive battles. I'm cool with defensive battles. It's just the Steelers basically went belly up. Like they fought until the fourth quarter, and it was okay. Our offense just can't get nothing.
Yeah, when he got that fumble, they scored again. It was basically they were
they went belly up. So that's all it is.
They're not scoring that many points. And then, like I said, the only game that was over from the beginning was Indiana, Oregon. That game was over from
Cursing Daddy is here.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna say this: that game was over the first play of the game when he threw a pick 6. The game was over as soon as he threw the pick 6. That was the only horrible game of the week. The first play of the game, where he threw a pick 6. First play of the game. We didn't even get ready. We ain't even warmed up yet.
He's putting the entire NCAA on notice. Like, hey, we here.
Yo, throwing a pick 6 your first play of the game was crazy.
Very crazy.
And then fumbling at your the drive after is crazy, dude. You basically spotted them in the game and say, it's over. We lost. Because Indiana do not mess up. They are well coached. But that's the show. I hope y'all enjoy it. Shout out to Caleb for becoming a follower of the Zelmae channel. So shout out to Caleb. Anybody on the Raw 99 channel? We had a guy call us Welfare's Finest. Sir, I make way too much money for welfare. They wouldn't even let me in the door. So I make way too much money for that. But I'm gonna tell y'all that I'm on the NDA. I can't even tell y'all who I work for. That's how much listen. I'm good.
You need to throw some of that money to your boy.
We trying to get everybody to Austin next year. They all said they'll go if I get it. So that's the goal. That's why I said everybody got to step up. We're going to try to make great content for y'all this year. Hopefully we get into a studio by the end of the year. That's the goal. So we got to grind and do our thing. I got a lot of cool stuff for myself personally coming up. One this month. I think it's supposed to be this month. I They ain't really told me what month, but I assumed it was this month because the time frame they gave me. But we got a cool thing coming in. Then I got something in March, hopefully, but I don't know about it yet, so I'm not gonna tell anybody. But if not, I have another cool thing that might be coming up in March. So we'll see. A lot of cool things for me personally, but hopefully gonna try to lead everything into everything. Follow us at the overall99media.org, where you can click Monray and go find his channels. So you don't have to tell you no more. So we can just that. Or you can just click his picture. Just click a picture. Or you click mine or the link underneath all of them and the overall99media.org. It'll take you to all the channels, the sports channel, every channel. I don't know how long we're gonna be on this channel. Well, we'll see how things work out. I got to make some decisions on a bunch of things and how we're going to do things. Might just make that channels for certain shows or something. Hopefully, when everybody not busy, we can just, the end of the year, I'm telling you, we try to hope so we can move content around. And y'all can see Monray on the anime channel giving hot takes again. Free. Let them argue with him again because I think they miss him.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they miss his anime takes. But I appreciate y'all. We are out. Monray, any last thing before we go?
Buy the merch.
Buy the merch. Link there too. All the link overall9media.org. I made it easy for you. You ain't got to go look at a bunch of pages. Click the overall9media.org. That's all you got to do. Click the picture of the person you want to see. Casual conversation. Do you hear me? All that with Uniqo Williams. I appreciate y'all. Peace.
Welcome to Keep It 99. Please give a huge welcome to our host, Zelmae, performer Uniqo, and the judge, Monray.